Guys, welcome back to my channel. It's been so long. It's been like what, 8 days, and I said I was gonna be posting like almost every day. But anyways, I'm sorry. There's just been a lot of setbacks. So yeah, no excuses again. Let's just jump right into the review of today. Guys, I'm going to be talking about Afamefuna in this video. So yeah. Fasten your seatbelts. If you've seen Afamefuna, you are most welcome here. Here we do everything: movie reviews, TV conversations, TV shows, and I always like to hear your opinions in the comment section. So feel free to join in the conversation. And if you've not seen Afamefuna, well, this may be your sign to go see it and experience it for yourself. So let us get right into the tea of the day. Afamefuna is the story of the Nwa Boi apprenticeship system in Igbo land, right? It tells the story of Afam, a young boy who has been brought to Lagos by his mother to come and learn to become an apprentice for Odogu, right? Odogu sells tiles and all of that in the market, and that's how they just do it. They bring these boys to Lagos. You come and learn under a boss, and after a few years, you've served your boss. It then goes ahead to set you up. It's also a way of spreading their wealth. You have been trained, now you can go forth and become, right? It is such a beautiful I don't know if I'll call it practice. Yeah, it is a beautiful practice because it just lets young boys who probably don't have the educational background to do a lot for themselves to also be able to become entrepreneurs and business owners and big men, basically. Because I mean, the way they set them up is like, yeah, I'm giving you this, and your life can just take a whole new turn from that. That's very interesting, right? So the story tells us of Afam, who after he came to Lagos, he started learning under Odogu, played by Kanayo, and he was like one of the brightest and most loyal apprentices that Odogu ever had, right? So Odogu told him when he came that, most importantly, do not steal my money and don't get a woman pregnant, and he made sure not to do any of that up until the time that Odogu would now give him like his own freedom to go and become. So let's go through the cast, their performances, and what you should know. I also don't want to give too much spoilers such that people who haven't seen the movie can still watch this review. So the cast includes Segun Arinze, Alexx Ekubo, Atlanta Bridget Johnson, Kanayo O, Segun Arinze, Jide Kene Achufusi, Paul Igwe, Chuks Joseph, Segun Arinze, and many others, right? So let me take you through their performances. I'm just going to be picking on the main characters. For Segun Arinze, I think he had a really beautiful performance in this film. He played the major character, Afamefuna, the boy who had come to Lagos and now has grown to become a wealthy man. We are first introduced to Stan's character at the beginning in his house. He's celebrating his dad's, remembrance, and then the police comes to pick him up. And I was wondering, okay, what's going on? And then we hear that somebody is dead, right? And then Afamefuna has to take us through an entire story. I liked his acting. And to be fair, we didn't get so much of Segun Arinze in the present as much as we did for his younger character in the past. But I really like that I could see Segun Arinze in Paul Nwa, right? I could see how they balance each other as younger and older characters. I felt like there was a connection between them that was very visible, and it just made sense, right? It was like, okay, yeah, I see how both of you could work together as the same person, even though they don't have like maybe facial resemblance or whatnot. They had the bodily similarities, they had this calmness that comes with them. There was a balance, but that's basically what I'm trying to say. And I really liked his acting. I think Stan is a really good actor, and in this movie he also proves it, right? We also have Alexx Ekubo. He plays the older version of Paul. Is this guy that literally trained Afamefuna when Afam moved to Lagos to be with their boss. He had so much to contribute to his life. He taught him how to be a straight guy, how to dress, how to do all stuff. He taught him the way of the business. He taught him how to be strong. He literally just made him his own person, right? And they had this amazing bond. They had a really good bond, and I think from their acting you could even tell that yes, these people have a really, really good bond, and I really liked it. I enjoyed watching both of them. Seeing both of them on screen was such a delight. It was interesting to see, and yeah, that's about their performance. The acting was really good, and I just enjoyed watching them, both the younger Polo and the older Polo version. I really liked watching them. Kanayo played Odogu in this film. He was quite laid back. He was relaxed as a boss, and I think I like the angle that they brought Kanayo in from. He wasn't this wicked or annoying boss. He was really calm. He just would give advice, You know, he had a really good relationship with his apprentices as well. I think I liked seeing him this calm. Is like a reintroduction of Kanayo into the, not like an reintroduction, but I mean it's been a long time we saw him in films. So yes, this side of him that we get to see was interesting, and yeah, I just really liked him in this film as well. What else am I going to talk about? Atlanta Bridget Johnson. She played Amaka in this film, the daughter of Odogu, who has two love interests, who are the major characters in the film, right? For Atlanta, I don't know if I liked her as the character, but I don't know if I really liked her acting in this film. I think it was quite basic, and any other person could have pulled it off, right? So yeah, it was okay. It just wasn't all that, right? So let me go into the things I liked. All other characters actually, you know, every other person did well in the film. It was quite interesting to see them. You know, there was Trudy Joseph, there was Segun Arinze, who was speaking multiple languages. First, he was introduced to us as CSP Gidado, that is an Hausa man, and then later on into the film, we realized, not later on, not much later on, later as we were introduced to him, we realized that he can speak Igbo as well, and all of that, right? So I liked him. Yeah, so let me go into the things I liked about this film. I think the storytelling was beautiful. I liked, or let me just say, the story. I liked the story. I liked that it was very positive noted. It was very, it was just very heartwarming, right? It was like a very simple story that you just enjoy watching how it progresses, right? I liked watching the whole market force, how Afam went from being a JJC, like Polo would call him, to becoming a real market boy, right? You know, how you sell business and stuff. I think I really liked watching that. I liked their bond. I liked how we got to see all the boys, you know, in the room arguing, bonding, and all of that. I also really liked Joseph's character. He was Afam's up, and I understood where he was coming from, to be honest, right? It was interesting. I also like the themes that he explored in this film. You know, Igbo business culture, brotherhood, and all of that, right? I liked the banter between the boys. I think I already mentioned that. Yeah, it was quite interesting to see all of this stuff. I liked the costume play. When it needed to be toned down, it was toned down. When we needed to see, you know, Igbo people in their fullest, we saw it as well. I also feel like the Igbo was very natural, and I think the reason why they could be very natural is because these boys are actually Igbo boys, right? They can speak their language, and this is what I mentioned in my review of Blood Vessel, that you know the language flow didn't feel natural, but in this film they were just flowing, right? It was just really really good. I think the theme of brotherhood was one that was explored really well. It was very explanatory in itself. We could see it play out. We understood it. So I liked that as well. I liked the movie in general, the feel of the film, the cinematography of the film, the entirety of the film, right? It was interesting to watch. There were a bit comic reliefs here and there, but it wasn't such a serious film as well. It was such a simple story, and yeah, I just enjoyed that about it. So yeah, those are the things I liked about Afamefuna. So, to the things I didn't like about this film, I'm gonna say the first thing is also going to be about the story. As much as I like the story in the film, I think it was quite unnecessary. It was necessary to tell the story, but the mode of telling was, it didn't fit in, it didn't sink in, right? So when, let me just give a bit of insight as to what I'm talking about. So Afam is invited to the police station because somebody is dead, right? And then the detectives start asking questions. They start saying, oh, this person slept with Afam's wife, this and that, and all of that. And then he's asking Afam some serious questions. And then Afam is giving like a bit of detail into how he and this person came to be and all of that. And then it just delves right into the beginning, how it all started, how we moved to Lagos. And I feel like that wasn't necessary in the investigation process. They didn't need to know all of that, right? Stick to the question, right? So like the whole business side of things, how industrious the Igbo people are, their hustling spirit, like nobody asked him all of that, so why tell it? I understand that they wanted us to see the world through the eyes of Afam, but like a police investigation just didn't seem like the right way to go about it. Everything was just not sitting right. Also, another thing I didn't like was the way they made up the whole love story between Afam and Amaka. Now, if you watch the film, you will know that there is an origin to this, but it did also come out of nowhere when it happened, right? It's like, oh yeah, we know you had a childhood crush on this person, but like, how did it become a full-blown love between the both of you? I didn't see how that happened. I didn't understand it. Yeah, it just wasn't established for me, right? I also didn't like the third act of this film. The whole moment we start finding out about, what happened to Polo, the whole pregnancy, child thingy, the reputation of, oh, you stole this, you stole that. It was sus. It was definitely sus. I didn't like that as well. Also, when CSP Gidado, that's Segun Arinze's character, he was investigating Afam, he had called somebody and told them, oh, Afam was married to Amaka and all of that. It's like, oh, he didn't know that detail, but he also knew that somebody slept with his wife, that somebody slept with Afam's wife. I'm like, balance me up real quick. How did you not know this and you knew that? If you're this person that knows so much about Afam's social media life, you know how he's always pledging money around, you know how, the kind of person he is. You didn't know that tiny detail that Afam was married to Amaka. That didn't say. And what was he talking to? That felt like an important information that they needed us to see, but it did not lead anywhere, right? So I didn't like that as well. I also didn't like the child as a form of blackmail. It did not land for me because there was no point where it indicated that Afam couldn't have kids. Now, people that have seen the film understand what I'm talking about, but yeah, I don't want to give it all off, right? It didn't mean that because, oh, they say this child probably isn't Afam's own or something. It did not mean that Afam could not have kids, or neither did it mean that Afam went to go and steal the child, right? It just didn't feel like Afam was the right person to blackmail in that situation, right? I feel like they could have blackmailed the other party, right? It didn't sit quite well for me. Some other parts of the story, actually, they felt very on the surface, like we didn't get in depth into them. Even when, we learned that Polo had run away and stuff, right? We didn't get like, okay, what did Odogu do after Odogu definitely knew that Polo was back, right? So what did he do after? What was it like, right? And now let me just say that I am Team Polo actually, because I'm not Team Polo, but yeah, I understand where his anger could have stemmed from, right? Gosh, it is so hard to give a review like this without giving spoilers, right? But in general, the film was very interesting to watch. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I had a good laugh. I think it was also very, very relaxing. It also didn't really have so much suspense to it. The revelation as we went on was interesting to see as well, but it wasn't like some kind of tense film. I think Kayode Kasum did a really good job with this one. I was able to tell the Igbo story, though I feel like it was still very surface level. There were no depth to many of the things that they touched on in this film, but I also feel like it was very intentional as to not, in your bid to try and tell a good story, you now give a false account of something. So I think that's what I thought from it, right? And yeah, if that's what the case may be, I'm fine with that. Don't do too much so you don't get yourself in trouble. Yeah, aside from those few flaws that I mentioned, I think there were a few others, but I lost my notes on it, right? So yeah, that's why it feels like I'm probably rambling, because it's a cinema film. If you don't write as you're watching, you probably forget so many other things. So yeah, I lost my note on it, and that's why this is all you can get, because this is all I can remember at top of my head, right? So let me know your thoughts on Afamefuna in the comment section. And yeah, do you think it was a good film? Oh yeah, I've not rated it. But I think I'm going to rate it a 6.5. And that's just because I didn't like the third act of the film. The entire third act of the film, I didn't enjoy it. Yes, so every other part, and also the part where they had to tell us a whole lot of story without asking for it, right? Since they wanted to use the whole question and response style, but it just didn't sink. Anyways, should you watch Afamefuna? Definitely say it before it stops showing in the cinemas, or I don't know, maybe it's gonna come to streaming and then you can also watch it there. But I'm gonna end my review here, and I'm gonna see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.